Okay, this is going to be an unboxing of the Light Harmonic, or rather LH Labs Geek Pulse X Infinity. And basically this is another one of LH Labs crowdfunded projects. This time instead of Kickstarter like the Geek Out was, it was from Indiegogo. And basically it's a desktop DAC and amplifier. The Pulse X stands for basically a balanced architecture. So this is going to be a fully balanced input and a fully balanced output as well. So it has XLR inputs and outputs. So that's just my invoice. Looks like I've got a HD Tracks card. It has a 15% off discount code. Then inside the big shipping box is the Pulse X Infinity here. It says Geek Pulse LH Labs Pulse X Infinity. Let's see if we can get that closer. There we go, Pulse X Infinity. And I believe the Pulse X Infinity also has the new Saver ESS 9018AQ2M DAC chip within it. So this will be, I think, the second product. Actually, it's the first product to have that DAC chip ever, because it was just released not too long ago. So basically, I will have one of the first DACs to be able to use that new DAC chip. So there's a little sticker here with the LH Labs logo there. Not much else on the back. There's a barcode. So let's get the sticker opened up. And this Pulse X Infinity DAC is in the old chassis, so it will look very similar to the linear power supply that I unboxed earlier this year. So just have a big foam block here. Underneath that, there's a satin finish piece of paper here, and it looks to be just like a thank you, an extended warranty card. Nothing on back. This piece of paper is a similar piece of paper, so it's got a kind of shiny satin finish, and it's basically just a warranty card and covers everything that was basically discussed on LH Labs website. Right here we have a power supply brick, which is just a normal switching power supply, so nothing too special. It does have interchangeable prongs though, so if you live in maybe the UK or something, you can actually just switch this out, and it's pretty handy. Right here is a standard 12, I believe it's 12mm DC plug. So that just plugs into your wall. What else is in here? On the right, well, there's some rubber feet that can go on the bottom of your DAC. This is a LightSpeed cable. So this was developed by Light Harmonic. They call this cable the LightSpeed 1G cable. Basically the 1G means that it can provide 1 gigabit per second of bandwidth signal, so it has a higher signal bandwidth than a standard USB cable. I have absolutely no idea how USB cables will make a difference in sound quality, if it even does, but I look forward to testing it out. Basically it's just a gold-plated USB-B port here and a gold-plated USB-A port here, and it is a flat cable, so it's kind of interesting to see for a USB cable. I've never seen a flat cable like this before, but I'll be interested in seeing how that goes. Oh, for the power supply, as I was talking about, you get different prongs, and it looks like it's actually included in the box. So that's actually very nice that it includes these switchable prongs. And you get 3 of them. I don't know which countries these belong to, so I live in the USA. I don't need these, but it's useful for people around the world. And the last thing that's in the box is, of course, the Pulse X Infinity DAC itself. Let's get that out of the box here. Just a bunch of foam left. Okay. Alright, so here's the front of the Pulse X Infinity. There's a standard 6.3mm jack. There's a 4-pin balanced XLR connector. On the right hand side we have a volume knob. And it rotates freely like that. It's also a button, so that's how you navigate through the menu system, is that you push the button there. On the back panel, well, on the sides, nothing, just black metal. On the bottom, we have, I think, the same barcode that was on the box. On the back, we have different inputs and outputs. So it can output 3-pin AES balanced XLR connectors. It can also output normal standard RCA outputs, which is analog signal. XLR inputs, we have a USB-B. Right next to it, there's the AES 3-pin input, XLR again. Next to that, we have SPDIF with RCA connector. Next to that is the Toslink connector, which is an optical connection. And the power switch right next to that. And below the power switch is the input, the 12-volt DC input. Oh, and also at the top here, there's a like Kensington lock, which is nice to have since this DAC is pretty pricey, and I don't want to lose that. So if I'm going to bring this to work or something, maybe I can connect it to your desk. So let's go ahead and plug this in. Let me get the wall adapter here. Unlock the twisty tie. And I'll show you kind of what the menu system looks like. Okay, so let's plug that into the power port. Turn this on. Alright, Pulse Infinity. So it looks like there's a standard kind of input signal indicator. It's a 48 kilohertz signal. There, let's get the camera to focus on that. The volume knob is not good. It's automatically set to the maximum there at 0 dB. You should probably lower that way down before you plug in any headphones. Don't want to blow out those. So it does go by 0.5 or 0.25 rather decibel steps when you adjust the volume knob. So it's 57.5, and then it'd be like 57.55, then, oh, 0.75 rather, and then negative 58 decibels, so yeah. interesting. So to get into the main menu, you go ahead and push the volume button, and you can do input select, USB, AES balanced, SPDIF1, Toslink, SPDIF2, and back to USB. Let's see what else. Headphone gain select. So there's a medium gain, there's also high gain and low gain. I will probably almost always use low gain, so I'll set that right there. Alright, digital mode. So this affects the digital filters on the DAC, just like the Geek Out. So there's a TCM, which is time coherent mode, FRM, frequency response mode, SSM, which is streaming mode for a future update. I think it'll work with something like Spotify or Tidal. Oops. And after that, I believe there's one more. Yeah, FTM, Femto clock time mode, which is optimized for pulse DACs with the Femto clock, which the Infinity does have. And that is Larry Ho's preferred digital mode, so I'll go ahead and keep that one there. Volume setting, so knob control, or I believe you can do USB control as well. Yeah. So knob control is when you use the volume knob to control the volume. And then USB mode, I think you can use your computer to control the volume. And the IR sensor, there's actually an infrared sensor right above the volume knob. You can use an Apple remote for that, but I don't have one, so I'll keep that as off. And finally, firmware version, so you can see which firmware you have. So mine is 2.4 for the display board. And since I don't have this connected to a computer, I don't think it shows you the normal firmware version. So I'll have to update that when I connect it to a computer. Alright, so that's the Geek Pulse Infinity in a nutshell. I really look forward to seeing how this performs. So stay tuned for my review of that, and I'll also have an update video for the Aoun B1 portable headphone amplifier as well, so stay tuned for videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and see you guys soon.